In today's video, I'm going to tell you exactly how to make six figures as a real estate agent. Coming up right now. Hey everyone, welcome back to Freedom Agents. This YouTube channel is all about helping you close more deals as a real estate agent. Make sure you check out all my old videos. I share with you the exact tips and tricks and tactics that I use to close 35 plus deals a year. All right, so you want to make six figures as a real estate agent. Well, you're probably not alone. That's a very common thing to want. I would imagine one of the most common reasons people get into real estate sales is they believe they can make a lot of money, and there's nothing wrong with that. And the good news is that's very true. Just to start this video off with some positivity, because I believe when you go endeavor to do something, you have to know it's at least somewhat possible. And so I'm here to tell you that real estate sales is one of the easiest, quickest ways to be able to earn six figures, even if you don't have a college degree. Of course, you don't need a college degree at all. So I always talk about how low the barrier to entry is to be a real estate agent and how high the potential income is. So those two factors make real estate sales one of the most powerful professions in the world, in my opinion. Now, of course, the flip side of that is it's also one of the highest failure rate professions. If you don't know what you're getting yourself into, if you don't know what's required day in and day out, then it's very likely you will be a statistic. But today we're gonna talk about really just breaking this down, right? I know I made hardly no money for many years. And the idea of making six figures obviously felt like a pipe dream. It was something that I felt like if I could achieve, all my problems would go away. You probably understand that your problems are not gonna go away if you make six figures. But nevertheless, our society is obsessed with making six figures, right? And that's a goal for a lot of people. Today I'm gonna tell you really just how to break it down to create goals for yourself and talk a little bit about the exact actions that you need to take to make this a reality for yourself. You will have all the information that you need by the end of this video to accomplish making six figures. All that will be left is you taking the appropriate action consistently over a long enough time horizon. So real quick, before I get into how to make six figures as a real estate agent, I make these videos so that you all reach out to me. I do offer one-on-one coaching and in-depth YouTube bootcamp training, and also personal one-on-one training on how to work with investors for those people who choose to work with me. It's completely free. You don't have to join my real estate team, and there's really no obligation. So if you want to know more about that, you can reach out to me. My phone number is in the description below. You can book a Zoom call with me. It's free, there's no obligation. So if you're interested in getting personal one-on-one coaching with someone who's done it before, reach out to me today. So first off, let's talk about how easy it is to make six figures in real estate. I mentioned the low barrier to entry, but one of the amazing things about real estate sales is how big the commission checks are. Now, of course, if you're in a very small neighborhood, very small market, this might not apply to you, but on average, you know, your commission is going to be pretty significant. I'll share with you what it is in my market. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. It's roughly $9,000 an average commission. The average home sale price is, you know, between $350,000 to $450,000. So right off the bat, you have to ask yourself, assuming your commission in your neighborhood is going to be comparable, how many homes do I have to sell at a commission rate of $9,000 to make over six figures? Well, of course, it's simple math. You're going to be at about 11 transactions to cross over to six figures. So right there, you should feel really encouraged. Can you sell 11 homes? Can you help someone sell or help someone buy 11 homes over the course of 1 year? That's less than one home a month. So I just want to help you with your mindset, because mindset is the most important thing in entrepreneurship. 11 homes is really not that much. I'm not saying you have to go out there and sell 50 plus homes a year to make six figures. I just want to get that in your head. 11 homes, you know, and again, if your market, the commission check is lower, it's probably going to be somewhere, you could be in a market where the commission is much higher, right? If you're in a market like Miami, your average commission is probably going to be closer to $11,000. If it's anywhere between, you know, $9,000 and $13,000, you're going to have to sell between, you know, 10 to 12 homes to cross over the six-figure range. So we're going to approach this very systematically, which I know for me, it can get a little confusing when you don't have any business. If you're a brand new real estate agent, it might seem a little silly to write out where these transactions are going to come from, but I think it's really important to create a plan so you have that blueprint that you can follow even when you feel like you wake up and you don't know what to do. So you're a new real estate agent, or maybe you're continuing your career. Where are these 10, 11 transactions going to come from? Well, especially if you're new, your immediate business, your first few closed transactions are overwhelmingly likely to come from friends or family or someone in a hobby group that you have. So don't take these people for granted. If you're getting into real estate, these are the people that you need to focus on first, which should be the easiest because these are the people who you're already comfortable speaking with. Okay, so one of the first things you need to do as a real estate agent, pull out the phone book in your phone. These are people who are obviously okay with you calling them. You need to add these people to your CRM. Friends, family, everyone needs to know that you're a real estate agent now, that you're helping people, that you're successful, so that when the time comes that you are top of mind and they will call you. Now, one of the most consistent sources of business for me has been over the years is hobbies, okay? Most everyone has some kind of hobby. So some of mine happen to be Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and whitewater kayaking. Those are little groups, right? Maybe it's CrossFit, or maybe it's a place of worship. Maybe it's a church. Those tend to be little clusters of people that you have more interaction with than a normal person. These people are comfortable with you. They see you often. You have a lot of interaction and contact with these people. Don't take this for granted. This is where your first pieces of business are going to come from. So let's just say we have to close 11 transactions in 1 year. I would say you want to plan on 5 to 6 of these to come from your friends, family, or hobby groups or places of worship. So that means if you gather all of the people in your area that you consider friends or family or part of some kind of group, you want to gather them all, right? Hopefully it's a lot of people, because the more people it is, the more transactions you're going to close. That could be maybe on the low end 20. It should be at least 20. If you don't have 20 people in your area that you can call friends, family, or in part of a group, that's just an issue you have to address. It doesn't mean you're not going to be successful, but if you're not in any kind of group, if you don't have any hobbies, you should probably consider finding something social. And this could be good for your health, it could be good for your spiritual life, and it will also be good for your business. You don't want to get into it just for that reason, but listen, you're a salesperson now. You have to be sociable. Now, I'm an introvert. I'm not saying you have to go out every night and go to mixers and all kinds of functions that make you uncomfortable, but pick up a hobby. Join some kind of club. Pick something that already interests you and find where people are gathering to enjoy that thing. So on the low end, maybe it's 20. On the high end, it could be 150. If you happen to be an extrovert, you lived in the same place your whole life, you could have literally hundreds of people that you would put in a category of friends, family, or hobby groups. That's very good for you. So that may be tedious, but you do want to add all these people to your CRM. And you're just going to reach out to these people. You're going to write them cards. You're going to give them a call just to check on them, see how they're doing. You're going to be posting on your social media, making sure you're friends with all these people. You're going to be posting about your real estate career change. So this is essentially farming among a group of people that you deem are friends, family, or part of a hobby group. Now, if it's not happening right away, don't get discouraged, okay? You are probably likely to go your first few months in real estate without closing any deals and without even maybe working with active clients, okay? You have to do consistent behaviors to build momentum, and the goal will be towards the end of the year, you will start really closing transactions and continuing to have leads coming in. So we're talking about how to make 6 figures in 1 year. Listen, it might not happen the first year. It didn't happen the first year for me, but if you do these consistent behaviors, it will snowball. And not only will you make 6 figures 1 year, the next year you'll probably make multiple 6 figures. It's kind of a compound effect. Anyway, making 6 figures in real estate, step number 1, gather all friends, family, and hobby group people into your CRM. If it's a very small number, create a plan to make it larger. If it's a larger number, that's great. You need to consistently stay on top of mind with these people, calling them, texting them, DMing them, posting on social, providing them value. I guarantee you will get 6 transactions at least from this group. Okay, now we got to talk about lead generating outside of your sphere of influence. And this is a talent that if you can develop, you're going to be a wealthy person, because it's one thing to build a referral business and build a business based on people who already know you. I think that's fantastic. That a lot of big agents do that. When you develop the skill of being able to attract people who don't know you, especially if you have them reaching out to you, that's very powerful. And it's something that a lot of real estate agents don't have that they would like to have. What my suggestion for you is lead generating outside of your sphere is to pick one method and go all in. Become the guru of that method. I think a big mistake is to try to do everything. Trying to cold call FSBOs and host open houses and create a YouTube channel and pay for leads. That could work. It definitely could. But especially if you're new, there's so many skills you're learning all at once. And conversion is a huge one of those. And each lead generation type has a different way to convert. So it's just going to be like trying to drink from a fire hose. I would suggest pick something based on your personality that you can do consistently over a long enough period of time. So it could be open houses. Open houses are one of my favorite ways for new agents to get business immediately, because you're in contact with people who are likely very much ready not only to buy, but to put in offers. I have a whole video on hosting open houses. Make sure you don't just go start hosting open houses without watching it, because 90% of open house activities for agents is worthless because they are jumping all over locations around their city. They're not building any brand recognition. But for instance, open houses. So you say to yourself, okay, out of the next year, I'm going to host 35 open houses over the course of the year in the same neighborhood, using signs, 10 to 15 signs with my face on the sign so that people get to see me every weekend. It's going to be in an area that I'm familiar with, so I sound like an expert when I'm having conversations with people who come to the open house. So I think that would be a fantastic plan. It could be 35 open houses. It could be, 52. It could be 104, right? You could do an open house every Saturday and Sunday for the entire year. That would be a lot, but you would also definitely make six figures if you did that. Or it could be social media. Okay, I talk about YouTube all the time. Day one, new real estate agent, start a YouTube channel. Create a plan you can stick to. Okay, I'm gonna post one video a week for the next year. And even if I don't get any leads from it, I'm still gonna do it. And that's the most important part of what I'm telling you is, whether it's an open house, if you host 35 open houses and you don't get any leads, you probably do want to examine what's going on, but you need to understand that you're building momentum and you will see results at some point. Same thing with YouTube. I started YouTube, it was crickets for 8 months. And then all of a sudden my phone started ringing, it was a trickle, and then all of a sudden the floodgates opened and my phone was ringing off the hook. So I think one of the most common ways that realtors fail is they try a lot of different lead generation tactics for a very short amount of time and they get frustrated when none of them work. Pick one, maybe two things, and just I'm gonna do this for a year. That's what you just have to say to yourself. I don't care what the result is, I'm gonna do this for a year. I'm gonna study from other people who do this tactic. I'm gonna develop, do your research, right? If you're doing open houses, there's 1,000 YouTube videos from high-level agents about hosting open houses. You can pick little tactics from each and formulate your own plan. The information is out there, but it's critical that you pick a time frame, a time horizon for how long you're going to do this and stick to it regardless of the results. If you pick one thing, whether it's social media, open houses, cold calling, and you do it, commit to it consistently over a year, I guarantee you're going to get at least 5 closed transactions. And we're already at 10 to 12 transactions. So I split it up half between your friends, family, and hobbies, and half between your non-sphere of influence lead generation tactics. And that's really all there is to it. You might say I didn't get specific enough, I didn't share enough detail, but listen, I need you to understand about real estate sales. It's not complicated. There's no mystery. Okay, the people who make money pick up the phone consistently over a long enough period of time. If you're not closing deals and you've been in real estate for 6 months or for a year and you don't have active buyers and sellers, it's because you're not waking up every day and talking to people. Okay, you're not picking up the phone, you're not posting on social, you're not texting people. That's the only reason you don't have business. Yes, this is a little bit broad, right? But really the most important part of making 6 figures is having the right mindset, right? So we talked about how attainable this is. This is not difficult. You only have to close, 10 to 12 transactions a year. And then we talked about where these transactions are likely to come from. Half of them will come from people who already know, like, and trust you, your friends, family, and hobby groups. And then half of them you'll have to generate on your own. So this should really reduce the level of difficulty in your mind, which creates an atmosphere where you're more likely to take action, right? It's easy to market to your friends, family, and hobby groups. That's easy. So the hard part is developing a lead generation strategy for the other people. But you only have to close 5 or 6 deals from those other people. Even if you just hosted one open house a weekend, for 10 weeks, I think you could do it if you did it the right way. So this is not complicated. Don't overcomplicate it, and don't get anxious and take your eye off the prize and go to some shiny object like a new CRM or paying someone for leads or a better website. Those things are not going to generate leads for you. You need to put yourself in a position to talk to people. And then finally, let's talk about 6 figures. Would it really change your life? Now look, I got into real estate to make money and to have a freedom of lifestyle, but I can tell you, and I want to prepare you now, because if you do take action like I'm talking about, if you follow the tactics in my previous videos, there's no doubt you'll make 6 figures. I guarantee it. But I don't want you to make 6 figures and be crestfallen because your life didn't completely change. Of course, it creates a much easier life. If you're struggling with debt or bills, it can be a tremendous relief. But if you're making 6 figures, you're also going to be super busy, and I want you to be prepared for that. If your phone is ringing off the hook, it means you're doing something right. But the crazy thing about real estate sales is you do all this work to get people to reach out to you or want to work with you, and then you actually have to do the work of helping them buy or sell, which is a lot of work. So real estate sales is really 2 full-time jobs, and I just want you to be prepared for that, because what's going to happen is you're going to start off your career and you're going to be listless and anxious that you don't have anyone reaching out to you. You can't close any deals. Then you're going to pick something and be consistent with it over a period of time, and momentum is going to build, and you're going to have people reaching out to you all the time, and you're going to be swamped. So you're going to go from anxious about having no business to being anxious about being swamped. And so I just want to prep you now for that. Real freedom in this business, real success in real estate is when you can implement systems so that you don't have to do all of the work at a high level. Okay, whether that's hiring an admin or eventually a buyer or seller's agent. That's actually easy, but you have to document everything you do and teach other people how to do it, and then manage at a much higher CEO level. Because if you don't do that, you're never going to be able to take a vacation. I can tell you for sure. Making 6 figures is nice, but when you want to go on vacation for 5 days, but you have to write offers, answer phone calls, go over inspection reports, it can be extremely stressful, and it can be a strain on relationships. So I need you to have the mindset that you are going to be successful, that you are going to stick with something consistently over a long enough period of time, but also that you're going to have a plan, right? You're going to have to pivot as you have this business and find ways to create leverage. An example of this, one of the easiest things you can plan to do is eventually hire a showing agent. Taking clients on showings is one of the most time-consuming, least leveraged time activities that you can do. So paying someone $25 or $35 an hour or a showing is well worth the investment, and it will get you a lot of time back. So the game changes from initially, developing leads to close deals to create income, and then once you have the income, you are trading some of that income to get hours back. Okay, hours back not only for your sanity, but hours back so that you can create more business, of course, right? Your tasks are going to get more high level as you get success. If you're making multiple 6 figures and you're out doing showings, probably not the best use of your time. You should probably use your brain power to find ways to develop even more business, to have other people do the work so that you're getting a smaller amount, but it's a smaller amount of a much larger pie. So I just wanted to put that out there because I believe you will be successful, but I don't want you to be crestfallen when you're successful and you don't even have a second to breathe because you're so busy. So there you have it. How to make 6 figures as a real estate agent. It's not that hard. It's only about 11 closed deals a year. Okay, there's practically no barrier to entry, and the tasks that you need to complete are not complicated. We're not doing physics or calculus or astrophysics or whatever. You're picking up the phone and calling people, and you're just pushing through awkward conversations. You're doing stuff when you don't feel like you want to do it. You're putting yourself out there through social, and you're finding ways to provide value. So that is how you make 6 figures as a real estate agent. There's no doubt you can do it. Really, the only variable is if you really want to do it. Because I promise you, if you really want to do it, you absolutely will. there'd be nothing that can stop you. And if you're not doing it, that's okay too, but it just means you don't really want to make six figures. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the reality is, you will, for the most part, get what you want in life. And so what you get will be determined by how much you really want. So hope that encouraged you, provided you some value. If you want more details about how to generate leads, it's all in my past videos. Go through them all, take notes, watch them a few times. It's all there for you. I haven't held anything back from what I've done to be in that position currently. So wishing you the best of luck. Reach out to me if you want to talk in more detail, and I'll see you next time.